Welcome into Blank Space Podcast, episode 2,
What's
guys. How you
good?
doing?
Good, good. What's good?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm your host today, Joey. Got Tay with me and Dre again.
Going on?
Yeah.
Good, good. All right, guys. Let's start today's episode off with some NHL. The Four Nations final.
Whew.
That was a good game, man. It was my first time actually watching a full hockey game this season. And I gotta support USA. Anytime I see they're on the screen, man, I'm always repping them. So, did you guys get a chance to watch it? If so, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, in fact, right now, I am actually in Canada. So,
Oh,
um, amazing time right now, which has been cool. So, we actually went to small, not NHL, but Victoria Royals game last night. Super fun.
that's dope.
And I was excited to talk about the Four Nations recap today. So, but yeah, I watched the game. It was great. It was just back to back all the way up to the second period. And then third period, nobody scored, but they were just battling. And then in OT, the USA, we had a chance to really win, and we missed that goal, and the goalkeeper got a great snag, and then as you guys know, they scored on us coming back down a few minutes later. But overall, I think it was good. I think it shed some light on hockey, and hopefully there's a few more fans that get involved in hockey. I know I'm more of a fan now. So yeah, that's my take.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I've always had this like small peaked interest in hockey. I think it was my older cousin. He always liked it. Always tried to get us to like it, and so I like it. But I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to it. None. I don't watch any games. I didn't catch this game, but I did catch the highlights. But because I know enough and I've peaked interest for a long time, like I know who the greats are, who the good ones are. And yeah, unfortunately, USA just ran into Connor McDavid, okay, and Team Canada, and then Sidney Crosby's over there as well. So that's a little rough, but I'm glad we got to the finals. I'm glad it was a very good game. Connor McDavid may go down as the best in history outside of Wayne Gretzky, and depending on what he does over the next 5 to 10 years, he might. Like I said, so no shame in losing to him and them, but it was cool. I actually needed to pose a question here. I didn't know for sure. I was trying to look it up and I didn't find the answer per se. Was this in place of their All-Star game? Do you guys know?
Joe, I think
Oh,
you're on mute.
can't hear you, Joe.
Oops. No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think they're doing it every year. I think it was just like a one-off, but they're most likely going to bring it back, is what I heard, because it gained so much
Okay.
like interest. Like next year, they got the Olympics, I believe, the Winter Olympics. So
Mm,
yeah,
That'd be
that's
that.
always fun to watch.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think I have a question too. Is this a sign that kind of like how the NBA has a lot of European stars, like Canada's decent in like
Mm-hmm.
international basketball, right? So like, is this a sign of like maybe USA hockey's on the rise?
So you. Oh,
I think. Go
I was
ahead,
just
Joe.
gonna say. I mean, USA hockey is on
Go
the
ahead, Joe.
rise. I didn't. I failed to mention their superstar, Austin Matthews.
Mhm.
Um,
And the Chuck brothers, baby. Let's go,
Yeah,
Brady.
they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. And I also don't know if he's just too young or where he falls in line as far as like what country. But Connor Bedard is one of the newer young guns in the game, and I didn't see him on any of the rosters. So
I think he
maybe
was
he's
on
there on the
Canada.
next time
I
that they
think
do
I don't
that.
know. Don't shoot me.
He what?
But yeah,
Would he be Team Canada too?
yeah, I believe so. I
Ouch.
think he was. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to talk to our friend Andre on that one.
Yeah. Ooh, Andre would know. We phone him in one of these times when we're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
hockey.
yeah,
Yes,
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 we will. We will
lifeline.
do that.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
yeah. All
I
right,
like I said,
guys.
I caught the highlights. It was nice. It was good for the
It's
sport. I feel
awesome
like for
game.
sure.
Mm.
Awesome game.
So moving right along. that posed the question: what do you guys think the NBA can do to fix their All-Star weekend, as far as maybe making it entertaining again and not a mockery? I think what Adam Silver has been doing the last couple of years, as far as in bringing in like the in-season tournament and just stuff like it's just not cool. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it's really done anything for the game. I think if anything, they're trying to figure out how to keep fans interested during the regular season, and it's just not. There's 82 games, like you can't keep people engaged for 82 games. I feel like. I don't know. What do you guys
try being
thoughts?
baseball.
No.
And
But
their All-Star
baseball,
game is one of the ones that still matters.
but baseball's found some ways over the last few years to kind of like by speeding up the game. You know what I mean? Speeding up, it kind of is gained a little bit more
Yeah.
interest to the sport. You got like newer fans coming on over. With NBA, you got a lot of the ratings going down, and this All Star Weekend was just like what do we do? You don't give the All Stars an opportunity to show their skills. You're playing to 40 points. They can score 40 points in their sleep. Each person on the floor. So I kind of want your guys'
Yeah.
opinion on maybe what do you guys think the NBA can do to fix their All Star Weekend?
So my personal opinion, I think one thing they need to do, there's a couple of things, but one thing they need to do is go, I was going to swear. They need to go all in on the dunk contest. Okay? The dunk contest almost always has been and almost always will be the main thing in All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend. But you got to get the superstars back out there. I like sometimes when they get the young, athletic rookies, like if the Thompson brothers were in there. I don't think they were, but Stephon Castle was in there this year. It's nice, but you have to really know your stuff in order to know those guys, and it doesn't make it fan appealing when you're there at the game and or watching. So I think they need to hone in on the dunk contest. I think they need to maybe get rid of the skills challenge. You always got to keep the 3-point contest and I like the rising stars. Because again, if you do like the NBA, you do pay attention and you do like the young up and comers that are going to be those superstars, they usually play in that game. So pay attention to that game. That's cool. But I think you need to implement I swear they did it back when like Julius Randle was a rookie. Like there was like a horse game and stuff like that. You needed to do like a 3-on-3 or a 1-on-1 tournament. Like winner gets something. And I don't know. And that's going to be the bottom line to all of this, you guys, is money. Like they're all about making money during that weekend, so they're not going to implement anything where the players get 10 million to win the All-Star game so that they play it like a real game. It just won't happen. They're not going to lose money. So
Yeah. I'm right on the ball right where you're at, Dre. With that is there needs to be some sort of incentive, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's money. I don't know if hey, y'all get a trip to Cabo, or Turks and Caicos, I don't know what the incentive is, but there needs to be something because I don't think it's quite what is involved in the All-Star weekend. It's just what do they gain from it, right? So, as a superstar going into it, they don't want to hurt their body, they don't want to injure their body. It's more of them just on vacation, having fun, seeing some friends in the NBA that they haven't seen for a while. So there needs to be some sort of incentive behind it to make these guys actually want to go play. Like, how can you make it more competitive? Not more so do we need to introduce a tournament style or this kind of game or these kind of players in the dunk contest. There needs to be some sort of incentive.
Yeah, I think I don't think they will ever do 1v1 though. I don't think you'll get the best of the best to do that. And if you see what happened in the women's 1v1 tournament, that's exactly why. Like, Brianna Stewart got 11-0 by I forget. I'm sorry, I don't even know her name, right? But that goes to show like why they won't do it. You can't have Anthony Edwards getting cooked by Cam Reddish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No
no, that's fair.
disrespect to Cam Reddish, but yeah. Uh, I don't know what they do. I don't think you can. I don't think you bring Mac McClung back out there. Like, cool. Sign him. Somebody sign him. You know, like if that's the case, like go get one of these
He should be on
professional
a team.
dunkers. It's a lot easier to do that than to just keep on bringing back Matt. I don't know. It's just not
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know
not
how
my
you get
not
the
my jam.
superstars to go
I haven't
out
really
there.
been a fan of the All Star game since they went away with the East versus West format. Like that's
Yeah.
I don't know. Call me old school, but like there's just no reason to split them up into 4 teams and only play up to 40 points. Like it just doesn't make much sense. And
I say
and then
just like
kind of leads into this the Victor Wembanyama injury.
one last thing to
If
touch on
do you
what
guys
you were.
think Wemby knew that he was hurt playing an All Star game on Sunday?
No,
I
because
don't.
did he not make it last year? Did he play last year? Make it last year?
He played
I
in
swear
the
he did.
Rising Stars, I believe. I'm not sure the actual game though.
Okay, well, if he didn't make it and play last year, then sure, then maybe he knew and he wanted to get in there and play. But if he played last year, then I don't think he even knew. Like there would be no incentive of like, oh, I got to go out there and play in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
well,
agree,
first
Dre.
of all,
I don't think he knew. Oh,
I was just
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
Joe.
first of all,
Sorry.
speedy recovery, Victor, because it's a serious injury. That blood clot, it's nothing to mess around with. My
Yeah.
bad, Tay.
No, go. I was just gonna say, yeah, same thing. Get better, Wemby, and I don't think he knew. He literally looked like he was having fun out there, and he was literally one of the only ones really putting in effort, and really really hooping in the game. So, I enjoyed it. I'm glad we at least got to see that, and yeah, I hope he gets better. This is bad for the Spurs. CP3, man, I think I texted everybody in the chat and was like, CP3 is just that curse, man. Like every team he goes to, something happens. So yeah, get well, Wemby, and I hope this doesn't turn into like a Chris Bosh situation. As they have a similar physique, and I just hope this doesn't turn into a Chris Bosh situation. So get better, Wemby. Let's go.
So I'm a big conspirator. Yeah, first and foremost, get better, Wemby. That, like you said, Tay, that is horrible just for the Spurs in general. Like that's a young team that at least was playing moderate. They're a little bit below 500, but with the De'Aaron Fox trade at the deadline coming out of the All-Star weekend, high hopes. That's the thing. They could have made the move on the up and up, but just missed out on the playoffs, and that would have hurt maybe
Oh man.
your growth overall. If they own their own pick going into next year, now they're gonna, even with De'Aaron Fox and some of the young people that they have without Wemby, they're going now on the downward slope for the rest of the year, and so they get to contain their pick and it probably stays high. So that's good, but you needed Wemby there with the Fox trade. You needed to create that culture, that winning culture going into next season, and now they don't get that. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too conspiracy with it, but like if they did it so that they can contain that draft pick, that's ugly. I always think the worst with like undisclosed injuries and stuff, but yeah, get better, Wemby.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good conspiracy. Let us know in the comments if you think Dre's high as shit. Yeah, yeah, for real. I think just hope this injury obviously doesn't linger. You
Yeah,
obviously want
man.
them ready for next season. See what they're gonna do in the summer. You obviously just try to build for next year as best as you can. Stephon Castle, let him get as much PT as he wants the rest of the year. And then yeah, build off, make a couple more free agency moves, and see where you go next season. I think positioned maybe 7th seed, 6th seed next year. Well, Pop hopefully can be back, maybe 5th seed. Pencil him in for
Yeah.
5th seed next year.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, and Joe, just real quick too, I just wanted to say you actually pointed out a good point. Go back to the East, and I know this was 2 topics ago now, but go back to the East-West game, and I know then it makes the regular season for some of the East and West teams not as appealing to win games, but make that All-Star game the pivotal point of home court advantage for the finals. Like, that'll get your stars of stars playing their heart out at that All-Star game. If that's simple and plain, you do that. So I don't know.
Yeah, but then you're right. But then again, it's you run into the situation where you get an all-star that's on a shit team that has no chance of making the playoffs, like LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, but if that's only his second time getting there in 5 years, he best try and play hard.
No, yeah, the MLB does that, right? They do. They play for like playoff position. I believe,
Yeah, I think it's still in place.
Yeah.
I think it's still like that.
That or get an extra draft pick. Get an extra draft pick or something. You know, like, I don't know. There needs to be an incentive. Something.
Or have it at the end of the year. I don't know. They need to do something. Yeah, because it's. Or just don't do anything. Just fuck the All-Star game. Just give them a trophy for getting selected or something like that. You know, like, because I think obviously with LeBron sitting out, like, and pretty much Draymond and everybody on inside the NBA crew just shitting on the game and everything. Like, it low key felt like a little bit of a protest. Just if you want to talk about conspiracies, Dre.
Okay.
LeBron like scratching right before the game, and missed me with all this bullshit about Norman Powell. Like, oh my God, LeBron could have done this an hour before tip off, and Norman Powell could have played 5 minutes. Oh well, dude. Guess who won? Team OGs. Like, what are we talking about?
I think that's part of it, though, is what they're saying. Like, LeBron would have played through that small injury that actually wasn't truly hurting him had that game mattered any.
Yes. And when's the last time we had a competitive All-Star game? It was when, rest in peace, Kobe. It was the year Kobe passed, and they did the
Dwight Howard and Nate Robb.
It was the they played. It was like, what, you go to a certain point, a certain score, and then you have to win by 24 or something like that. Like, that was just for Kobe, and I thought that was really dope. Like, I was okay. You got people that were playing competitive and all that stuff throughout the whole entire game, and then when it really got like to crunch time, people were actually playing like really, really, really serious. So and they weren't even getting paid like any extra bonuses. It was just more of like just for like, hey, pride,
trash talk.
like
trash talk. Yeah. And that is actually a good point, Joe. It's like that almost is like to those OGs and those leaders in the NBA, they kind of have to bring that drive and that competitiveness as well too. Kobe did that, right? Made everyone want to play. So yeah, maybe it's on the leaders as well too to bring that competitive edge as well.
I mean, if you guys think about it, we got to grow up during all of that, and like we got to see it fade out, and now we're 3 to 5 to 7 years deep of just some nonsense. We're old. We're getting old. It's gross. but like we get to talk about this now because it's actually happening in front of our eyes. It's gross.
Yes. What we got next, Joe?
It's interesting to see ratings decline, but what's not going to decline is the NFL ratings. And what do you guys think is going to happen in this free agency period?
Go ahead, Dre.
So I think there's a couple players out there, of course. T. Higgins, but for me personally, that's a non-starter. I don't think he's leaving Cincinnati. I think he would have had to have left Cincinnati had they found no run game last year without Joe Mixon gone. But since Chase Brown. Since Chase Brown came in and did his thing, I think they're able to now hold on to T, still invest in other areas, and maybe just draft well with what they've got because they haven't made any crazy trades and stuff as far as I know. So they should hold all their draft picks. And then the main thing is the quarterbacks, right? I think I think your 2 or 3 quarterbacks, whether it be trade, which we'll get into probably, I think is our next topic, and then Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. I think those 3 guys have basically the same 3 or 4 teams, and it's just a matter of who and when do they sign with which team. But I think all 3 or 4 teams probably end up with those guys because, again, we'll talk draft in a little bit here as well, and I think there's only 2 for sure's in that like really needy QB area that are getting drafted in the top 10. And then those other teams that have like good rosters and maybe just a vet quarterback could help them along the way, they're going to at least try for one of those guys. So,
Yeah. On my end, last night I'm preparing for the cast today, and I'm just scrolling and scrolling on which players are in free agency per team, and Kansas City, they need to do something because a lot of their players are up for free agency, and we know they did not play well in the Super Bowl. They need a lot of pieces, so I want to shed that light on Kansas City. They need to do something or they are cooked. So let's start there. And then secondly, again, what do the Vikings do with Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold, he played great, choked in the playoffs, but he did have a great season. Is the rookie ready to come up? Is the rookie ready to come up and take the stage this year, or do you get Sam Darnold for pretty cheap? See if he wants to stay, and kind of help him coach and train, the young man up. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting free agency. I'm ready for it. Casey needs to do something, and curious to see what they do with Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers as well. So that's my take.
Sorry, and just before you go, Joe, I wasn't fully done. I'll just so T. Higgins ain't going nowhere. We got Sam Darnold. My true thought is he ends up in one of the New York teams, but can't my that was my initial thought, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh wait, can he stomach that? We'll see. Maybe he does it to defeat the haters at the same time. Who knows? The third person was Trey Smith. I had written down. He's going to New England, in my opinion. They have the most cap space. They need to protect Drake May, see what that investment is there. And I mean, unless Trey is like, oh, I'm only good because I'm here on KC and they can afford him, he's gone. The fourth person I had was Ronnie Stanley, but he's kind of in the same market to me. He's just a tackle instead of a guard, or he's a left tackle. Was Trey Smith's a right guard, I believe.
Yes, right guard.
So yeah. And then the fifth person I had was Josh Sweat from the Eagles.
Nice. Yes.
And I put down that he'll probably remain with the Eagles if they prioritize him and can afford him. But if not, I think he goes to the Lions to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, and then just to protect that investment as far as Aiden Hutchinson goes, seeing as what happened when they lost him this year. So,
what you got, Joe?
Yeah, I'm looking more along the lines of, I guess, once the initial wave of free agency goes by, franchise tag's really going to mess up the whole T. Higgins and a couple of others. I guess I'm looking more along the lines of trades and cap casualty vets. I want to see what Miami will do with Jalen Ramsey, and because they have to re-sign Holland. They have to bring back their safety. So, you look at kind of what Ramsey's been the last couple of years. Is he really worth what he's owed? And then I think Sam Darnold should go to a team like Minnesota on like a 1 year, or not Minnesota, gosh, Las Vegas. Because and Pete Carroll with that little Southern California connection.
USC.
I think that'll be pretty.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was
interesting
thinking about
to see. And I'm really interested to see what the Jets end up doing too. Like they have pieces, but that's all they have, right? They don't have any continuity with the team. It's just they have like, okay, we have Sauce Gardner, who I think is severely overrated, and then Quentin Williams, who's pretty solid, and then you got Garrett Wilson, trade him, why not? Brees Hall, it's just, yeah, they're kind of on the decline. So I want to see what the Jets do. I think they need to start thinking about, hey, we're not just a quarterback away. We're actually our window's passed now. We kind of need to trade some of these players to get some draft picks back because we kind of screwed ourselves. We thought we were going to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Ended up setting ourselves back 3 to 5 years, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just with the way that the locker room's lost. You have Garrett Wilson not really wanting to play there anymore. And yeah, I think the Jets are a team to keep an eye on fire sale wise. I mean, hell, they almost did it halfway through the season last year.
Yeah.
And then I want to see what the Bills do. I want to see what I know we have this conversation. It feels like every offseason, but I want to see what they can do to take down Kansas City. I want to see what move. Why not go after a fucking Chris Jones? You know, go after somebody like that, a game changer, a game wrecker. Um,
Do they keep Amari, you think, Cooper? He's up for free agency in the Buffalo. What do you
No.
think they do with him?
no, I think they let Coop walk. I don't think he was.
Yeah.
You didn't really lose much when you traded like a 6th round pick from him. I don't really think.
Yeah.
I think you let him go, and you maybe try to go get somebody in this draft if that maybe they have their eye on or free agency. But I don't think. I think they just need to figure out their defense. They need to figure out pressure. They need to get somebody on the defensive line. So I want to see what they can do on that, on the
Mhm.
that side of things. And kind of interested to see what the Patriots do as well with all that cap space. I want to see them. I really want to see them get a
Nice.
receiver. But yeah,
I feel like the Patriots, the Lions, and the Commanders are going to be very active. They have a lot of money, and Commanders and Lions are
Oh, yes.
actually, good. So
yeah.
why wouldn't you go
I
spend
think
some
The
of that?
Lions one's scary.
the Lions. Yeah, I'll go back to this again. We got to keep the eye out. Don't be surprised if they're not as sexy next year without Ben Johnson and without
Mm.
Aaron Glenn. I know Dan Campbell's Dan Campbell, but Ben Johnson had a lot to do with the way that offense was cooking.
Then that's fair, but they have all
Yeah.
the players still. They're not losing out on a bunch of
True.
They have.
But like we always talk about, like especially me and you, Dre, we always talk about coordinators and quarterbacks, which ones tend to succeed, which ones kind of tend to fall off when they lose theirs. Jared Goff is unfortunately falls under that. But yeah, speaking of quarterbacks, did you guys get this notification? The Rams granting Matthew Stafford permission to see his value in the trade market.
I did.
What
What do you guys think?
I'll be just let you guys know I'm the biggest Stafford hater. I never thought he was that good. I think he has a great just deep arm for sure, and he knows how to control the game, which is a huge part. But I honestly think if he goes into the market, he's not gonna be as good as he is in LA. I think he's where he needs to be right now, especially in that offense and the coach who is a genius. I think he needs to stay there and he needs to work a deal out. So that is my kind of take on that. But curious to hear what you fellas think. I think you guys are Stafford fans.
So my question, though, what the hell is the Rams' plan if they do let him go?
Yeah.
You just made the playoffs. You won a game in the playoffs. Like you have a good little line. You have a up and coming running back. You have Puka. You have Cup, who's on. Like they're having to figure out if it's all money aspects of things. I understand you got to do something, but other than that, like why would you even divert from what you're doing? Just keep it rolling, you know. But then on the flip
both
side,
sides accommodate each other well.
Yeah, like why would I mean, and I want him out of the NFC West, please. But yeah, I don't know. And then as far as like if he was to go anywhere, I think like you say, maybe from a coordinator and coach standpoint, it doesn't truly make sense. But from a like so close to the goal standpoint, and maybe he moves the goalpost standpoint. So I'm gonna keep saying standpoint. But Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh made a move for him and just said buy Fields, buy Russell, they need to find their guy. Maybe he could show some like Big Ben-ness over his last 2 or 3 years in the game. Who knows?
Yeah. I have a really good answers, fellas. Tay, I'm gonna say you're wrong. I think Matthew Stafford is actually one of the best ball spinners that the NFL has seen.
Yeah.
The dude put up tremendous numbers with nothing but Megatron, shit offense and shit defense. It's not his fault. Those Detroit years were not his fault. And then it goes to show you bring him over to Sean McVay and with an actual defense, and then he wins the Super Bowl in the first year. Granted, they haven't won the Super Bowl since then, but it's pretty hard to win a Super Bowl. They've been competitive. I'm just saying he's not. I understand the hate. I don't really think I don't think it's deserved. Is all I'm gonna say. I think Matthew Stafford he's shown nothing but toughness. Motherfucker gets knocked down, gets right back up. Looks like he gets concussed on some plays. And then to answer your question, if he does get traded, I want to see him go to Minnesota. As ugly as that sounds, and if JJ McCarthy, if they get any wind of JJ McCarthy not being ready until week 6, week 7, sit him out another year.
Ready out the box.
Right, like redshirt him again. Go get Stafford, somebody who won't fold under pressure. You get him Jettas, Aaron Jones, a solid offensive line with O'Connell, who is another offensive genius because he came from where? The McVay coaching tree, Like,
let me ask
keep
you,
him in that same system. That's just, I would love to see that.
Again, monies would have to make sense, and it wouldn't. But let me ask you this: would they dare move Stafford, Cup, and like a second round pick for JJ McCarthy and Addison?
No, see, this isn't. The NFL
I know it's not
doesn't do trades. I know, but the NFL doesn't do trades like that.
But hear me out. Like they're looking to possibly move both. Then they get younger at both those positions, and they instantly reset.
If we're doing fantasy trades, you do McCarthy. You said McCarthy, right? Or you said Addison? Yeah, McCarthy and Addison. Nah, they would go like McCarthy, and then they would go get some like offensive lineman that the Vikings have. That's just a stud. And then they would get a second or third round. Yeah, something like that.
I forget his name. Yeah,
because let's not act like the Rams are like a lucky team that just they had a hot year. No, dude, they're notorious.
They have pieces.
They do this every year. They start the year super slow. Mind you, they had like their whole offensive line go down in the first 2 weeks of the season, and they had to work around that. And then they got hot at the end of the year, and then boom. So for them to just say, okay, like maybe it's time to move on for Stafford and Cup, like maybe it's the smoke. That's what I always want to remind everybody that's watching. Keep an eye on where these reports are coming out of and think about who it benefits. Like if you're hearing that the Rams are trying to trade Cooper Kupp, like who does that benefit? Does it benefit the Rams and his trade value, or does it benefit like a team that maybe the Rams called and said, "Hey, we got like Cooper Kupp we're looking to trade"? Do you think who leaked it?
Or does it benefit both? Does it benefit both?
Right. It's just something to keep an eye on, especially as we're creeping towards free agency and draft season.
Truly, it's a smart move though. Like that it's a good team, a good construction and everything, but obviously Kupp's on his back end. Stafford's definitely on his back end of his career.
Yeah.
If it's not getting the job done, no matter what you're putting in front of them, it is smart to move on now while you still have value. Like I'm telling you right now, if they could get at least McCarthy or at least Addison plus a pick for Stafford from Minnesota, if that's where he was to go, that's huge compared to what you'd probably just lose him to retirement in another year or two if you just keep rolling with him. And you can, like I said, with the team that they already have, the pieces they already have, if that all incorporates right, you can instantly be just as competitive with that team than with Stafford and Kupp.
Except for the fact that you're going to have to integrate a rookie quarterback into this offense, which
I didn't
I
say right
don't think.
away.
He's
but
not ready. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
ready right now.
Like I think if you're the Rams and you're looking to maximize kind of the fact that they're still able to be competitive after winning the Super Bowl and pretty much just giving away the future to do it, and they just were able to rebuild through the few draft picks that they had, and they've hit on them so far.
Right. So lucky for
So
them. And what I'm saying is with this young team right now, while they're paying almost none of these guys that are hitting, you can also now get rid of that money and like truly reload is what I'm alluding to.
no,
Like,
no,
but
you
you
don't
have to
have
get a
to. You don't
quarterback
have
though
to get rid of
in
that money.
doing
What
that.
that's why I think they're trying to move on from Cup is to move. Okay, they're probably like, okay, we got Stafford who can still get it done, and we got Cooper Cup who can still get it done. But they both like they probably weighed their options. Like okay, we can either cut the quarterback that makes X amount of dollars, or we can cut Cooper, or we can figure out a way to get rid of Cooper Cup that makes X amount of dollars, and they can still get rid of Cup and still make a move to get somebody else. Because like that's one thing about the Rams that's always pretty exciting too. Like there's certain teams in the league that just won't stand pat. You know what I mean? They won't
Yeah.
like one of the teams that will just kind of stay still is the Cleveland Browns or something like that, right? Like the Cardinals, just teams that don't really ever do anything sexy. No trade. The Patriots during the Belichick era, early on, he started to get a little freaky towards the end, signing Darrelle Revis and shit. But just teams like that, like I think the Rams are one of the few teams that like can just shock anybody and do like, oh, fuck it, Cooper Cup and yada 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 for your first round pick, who has like a top
Yeah,
five
turn
pick,
it
something like
around.
that. Yeah, it's just something. It's
Mhm.
just something to keep an eye on. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they're just gauging it because maybe they're trying to do a contract extension, and he's trying to come back with a bigger number that the Rams are giving him right now. Maybe. Um, but yeah, that's just my thoughts, fellas. Oh,
What we got next?
we got Tay's favorite quarterback.
Oh.
So this whole Matthew Stafford getting granted permission to seek a trade sparked a thought in my head because I was reading something about like, oh, the Aaron Rodgers should go to the Rams if they move on from Stafford. It's like, no. I was like, in what world would the Rams be better with Aaron Rodgers than Stafford? So then that kind of was like, I was like, you know what?
Not at that age.
What do you guys think that if the roles were switched, if you had during when Matthew Stafford got drafted and when Aaron Rodgers was probably starting, if Rodgers was in Detroit and Stafford was in Green Bay, do you think Matthew Stafford would have A, won more Super Bowls, made more Super Bowls, had overall success, or B, had more success than Aaron Rodgers did in Green Bay, and vice versa? Do you think Rodgers would have been able to lead the team that I was talking about, Matthew Stafford being on the 0-16 to some sort of relevance during the time?
I think it would be kind of equal, to be honest. Like they are very, very similar players. Um, AR is the GOAT though, so we gotta put some respect on his name. Let's not forget who he is just because he's old now. Let's not forget who he is.
So
But
stop that.
I have two words: Calvin Johnson, Megatron, and AR. Do I even gotta? Do I have to say anything more than that? AR and
Right.
Megatron together, be crazy. However, though, I would like to see Matthew Stafford play with Devontae. I think that would be a good accommodation as well. But you are not being AR and just Megatron. So
No, you are. You
that's
are.
my
It's the
discussion.
same reason why teams were
Oh
fucking up Matthew Stafford with Megatron because they
no!
had no defense. What you're forgetting about that time period is the time period that you're talking about is when the Packers had Clay Matthews, AJ Hawk,
They
Charles
did have good
Woodson,
defense.
BJ Raji,
Yes,
all the
yes,
defense, right? So I'm telling you, if Matthew
yes.
Stafford's on that team, I feel like they go farther. Because you
Uh,
know what the problem is with Aaron Rodgers and what's always been his whole career? He doesn't get it done
Let me
when
know,
when it
Skip.
counts. And you know what Matthew Stafford has done when he's got to the playoffs? He's gotten it done. He's been to the playoffs maybe one time in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. Don't shoot the messenger. And then a couple of times in the Rams. So if we're going by averages, this is just by averages. He has a better Super Bowl winning percentage than Aaron Rodgers. and that's just on average. So
Well, that's because
Stand on that, brother.
So, duh, he's been to 1-1-1.
right, but he what the whole point of the argument is that he's been able to do that. Like, okay, Aaron Rodgers has been gifted better teams, better defenses throughout his whole career than Matthew Stafford, and still hasn't been able to get it done. Granted, it could be that he went up against well, at that time, no, it was like what we had, like the Saints,
Well,
the Bears one, like no.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
This.
Ask away.
These guys have had. Tay touched on it really well. These guys have had very similar careers, in all honesty, truthfully.
Yeah.
So there's not too much to say, but I get the question of, if they swapped. And I honestly say no. I say Stafford had to learn everything through those struggles on Detroit to even get to where he got to with LA. Also, conspiracy here, that was LA's first year in that new stadium. That's why they got to the big dance, baby. Same reason why New Orleans won right after Hurricane Katrina. What? So no, like maybe that's a fluky Super Bowl in the first place.
Where did Matthew Stafford go to college at? Where are you getting this? He had to learn to be a quarterback. Where did he go? He went to the University of Georgia.
I
he didn't have to learn nothing. He came into the league throwing touchdowns.
He had
no defense and no offensive line.
He had supreme arm talent, but he
was doing no-look passes before Mahomes.
He had his injury concerns early in his career. He had his injury concerns, and yes, they did have a shit team, but he had Calvin Megatron Johnson. You've seen what a guy like Joe Burrow in the game today is able to do with the best receivers in the game, right? So he should have been able to do something at some point with those teams, and he wasn't really able to do so. He moves on to LA, and he's had some good years now on LA. He's went to the playoffs multiple times, like you've alluded to. Why is like Tay said, why is slander getting thrown on Aaron Rodgers' name?
Yeah,
but not on Matthew Stafford. Stafford has had his problems in the media throughout the years as well. Stafford's had his injuries. At least Aaron's injuries are coming on the back end of the career. That makes fucking sense. Excuse my language. Like, but yeah, I don't.
You want to know why? It's because of the way Aaron Rodgers has kind of carried himself the last couple of seasons. And his little ego is what kind of is doing it to him. And it's the whole point of this. My argument is that you go through Aaron Rodgers' career: Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Eddie Lacy, Greg Jennings. The list goes on. Devontae Adams.
I'm going to sit here and talk about Eddie.
He made them.
Lacy.
Huh?
Yeah.
Eddie Cheeseburger.
Eddie Lacy at the time was a solid running back. Okay, Eddie Lacy or Javid Best. What are we talking about?
They had Reggie Bush, did they not, for a few years?
And what was But Reggie Bush was no better if you guys throwing shame on Eddie Lacy's name. At least Eddie Lacy had a respectable career.
Eddie Lacy was nice
for the Packers,
not for the Hawks.
Well, yeah, he was fucking 300 pounds when he went to Seattle. They had to put him on. He's in order to sign the contract. They said, "Yo, homie, she had 15 pounds.
Stop eating."
Zion treatment.
Yeah. No, Jordy, James Jones, Devontae.
No, and he did not make them because
nice, but
he
made
Brett
them.
Favre. Those guys were already established when Aaron took over the reins because they were Brett Favre's guys. Okay.
But also,
it's like getting Tyler Lockett, Doug Baldwin, and such.
And Aaron Jones. We're not even going to skip over. Fuck Eddie Lacy. He had Aaron Jones for 8 years of his career.
But what we're talking about, Joe, is that Green Bay is just a better franchise all around. So you can swap any player and say that they're a better franchise.
Okay, so then,
yeah, Green Bay's always been a better franchise.
So, but then, what happened? Like they just have bad luck. Like I guess what I'm getting at is, do you think that Matthew Stafford, during when they had home field advantage during the COVID years, did Matthew Stafford on that Packers team, did they beat Tampa Bay at home in Green Bay?
No, I think it's the same result.
You do okay. I don't think Matthew Stafford makes the same mistakes as Aaron Rodgers does.
He's more precise, more reliable.
Maybe he's more streaky. I don't know, but Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he
They're-
folds under pressure. Like
They're-
that's the whole reason why I just think that he's getting a lot of hate is because the people are kind of realizing like, yo, you're in like year 20 and you're kind of still walking around like you got something to prove, which maybe he does because he's coming off these injuries, but he's just not that guy anymore. And you look at where
what 40 now. He's
but
in his
yeah, you look
40s.
at
of course not.
right. But
So-
we're like, don't
so-
do that, Tay. Don't do that. Don't do that. You guys,
he
don't
doesn't
do that.
listen, because there's a guy named Tom Brady in that sport, he doesn't get to sit on this mantle. But Joey, as LeBron James being your most favorite basketball player, you can't worry about Aaron Rodgers and thinking his shit don't stink and that he's the best player in the league. You have to like that mentality. That's LeBron James.
No, but he's not. LeBron James can back it up. LeBron James just dropped 40 points the other night, Dre. What are you smoking?
But that's the one in a
Aaron
million.
Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers can barely throw for 150 fucking passing yards, bro.
No, but right situation, right game, he still go out there and throw for 280 and 3 tutties with no
off 3
interceptions.
Percocets, maybe. You're right. Yeah, we'll
go.
see.
Let's
see.
go.
Goddamn. Okay, if Stafford wins another Super Bowl somehow, some way, we'll
I'll
see.
shut my
We
mouth.
can
On Pittsburgh.
I will
yeah,
shut my mouth.
but it doesn't matter. You guys won't shut your mouth though because it's just Aaron Rodgers. You guys like we grew up with the oh Aaron Rodgers. Look at the way he throws the ball. Look at the way he spins it. Motherfucker.
Stafford's the same.
No, Stafford wasn't on TV. That's the issue. Stafford wasn't on Sunday night television in the fucking playoffs. Like you know what I mean? And granted,
But we
speak for
know our
myself.
football. We know
Right, we
our
do.
sports.
And that's
Stafford
why
was
I'm
the exact
surprised
same
that you
player.
guys took this. Yeah, you guys took this. You guys are just tripping balls, dude. I'm sorry. You guys are fucking tripping, dude. I'm sorry. I just think because hey, you low key answered it. You said Green Bay's the better franchise.
They
so
do,
how
yes,
is it
if we're
if
looking
you
at
swap
that.
Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford, they don't have more success? And you have to take into the fact you have to take into the
Are we talking teams? I guess are we talking team success or are we talking individual success?
dude. I'm talking. Did they win more Super Bowls with Matthew Stafford as their quarterback?
Yeah.
Same
Tay,
result.
I think
Same result.
Tay, no, the question actually flew right over our head because I think we were comparing the two and like putting Rodgers over on the Lions. Joey's question says clearly here: would Stafford have had a better career than Aaron Rodgers if they swapped paths? Yes, because he would have played on a better franchise.
No,
but
okay,
I think it's the same. I don't think he's gonna go win more championships. I don't think he does that.
So that yeah, I guess I was defending a mute point here because if they're to me they're the same similar style quarterback. They've almost had the same similar style career. Where again, just Stafford's back half of his career has been good, and Rodgers has not. Stafford's front half of his career was not so great. Rodgers was.
But Dre, okay. So that wasn't. This is where the argument gets a little muddy, right? Because Rodgers' back half of his career hasn't been good, but he's been on great teams. Okay, Stafford was on shitty teams and still putting up great numbers during his early years, where Aaron was in his prime, wasn't able to win the big game. Like that's the whole argument that I get at with Aaron Rodgers is like, okay, yeah, we've had our moments with him, we've had our Hail Marys with him, but like maybe I just need to become more of a fan, and I'm starting to with Joe Burrow because I realize that Joe Burrow doesn't win shit.
Playing that quarterback position, though, playing that quarterback position, whether you like him or not, like the person, the man, Rodgers plays the damn position.
Right.
Like you should, how you should, and even cooler and better than you should.
Mm-hmm.
But Stafford does as well. Stafford does the same shit. And you know what? And I'm going to say it again. Y'all are fucking hating on him because he's in the NFC West. All right? And
we're not
because he's diced the Seahawks
he hurts us
left and right this year, bro. Puka Nacua is the truth. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of the Rams, but we got to get going on the next topic, fellas. That was a great discussion. I love that. That was a good one.
Yes.
All right. We got MLB spring training.
Oh, boy.
Let me go first because I'm going to lean on you, Dre Day. Everyone watching the cast right now, Dre Day he's our MLB expert. Like, his hands down.
It should have been Dre's MLB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Take it away, Dre.
Let me get my two predictions, and then we'll just go to Dre, and Dre will just lead us out. One, super biased. Just letting you guys know, we are from Seattle, Washington. This is the season, and it's again biased.
Yeah.
We're going over 500. We're going over 500, and we're making the playoffs. Now we might not go far in the playoffs, but we're hitting those two over 500. We're making the playoffs. And my second prediction is, from what I watched, Ohani is like the LeBron James of MLB. So I'm gonna say the Dodgers are gonna go in and get that chip again. So, but that's it. I'll go ahead and leave it to you, Dre.
Real quick,
Right.
I just want to say I won't be watching until probably post All-Star break. I would like to go to a game this year. This is yeah. So
Let's go to game.
look. Now that I actually have everybody here, we should probably try to go to a game this year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the
Yes.
Mariners do. Yeah, I'm not too tapped in with baseball as much as I should, but
We'll get
that's
you
all I
guys
gotta
tapped
say.
in this year.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lead us with the segment right now, Dre. Give us some things to look forward to this season.
Okay. Well, yeah, spring training's underway. Spring training's just like preseason for everything. Nothing to see here. But the cool thing with spring training compared to other sports, it's definitely involving their young guys, and a majority of them are like ones that are most likely going to get a chance to possibly play on the big league team soon. Whereas like sometimes in the NBA preseason, NFL preseason, you're seeing cats that aren't even making the overseas teams and stuff. So, but yeah, spring training. So that's that. I would say look out for Paul Skeens' dominance going into his second or third year now, I think. Shohei and the Dodgers, stupid. They get to spend all the money in the world. See what the Yankees do. Boston's back. Boston had a few years there where they were just kind of like above average, but not really good or dominant. But they put together a nice little roster. The Mets spent a bunch of money, so look out for the Mets. And yeah, look out for the Mariners, baby. They didn't spend no money, and we're all pissed off at their ownership over here. But still, look out for them. We got
They're
a great
cheap.
young group. Great young group.
Mets signed Soto, right?
Yeah, the Mets got
massive
Soto.
deal. Yeah.
So that's huge.
Good. Someone from New York.
And then, yeah, I mean, look out. I know this doesn't really fall in line, but look out for us. We're going to be breaking some baseball boxes. That's how we get these boys in on the baseball and learn some new stuff and who the rooks are and all of that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, fellas, we are at the 53-minute mark. Let's take the last couple of minutes to maybe give the people any topics that are on our minds. You guys got anything on your mind you want to talk about? Last minute sports topics, anything?
Can we just go back and talk about that Lakers game last night? Whew.
Man.
Can we just talk about that just real quick?
Okay. We can. I will lead us into the Lakers segment.
Yeah.
Okay. Last night, the Lakers played the Nuggets, and it was the first time they played the Nuggets since the AD trade, a game I've been looking forward to for a while. I wanted to see how they matched up against Jokic without AD with Jackson Hayes. And to be honest, I walked away very impressed. The small ball lineup that they put out there with LeBron at the 5 works. Because LeBron's so strong, he's able to kind of front Jokic, and he's able to be a little bit more physical with him in the paint, and it really was affecting him. Every time Jokic was running around the court, they were just giving him a body, bumping him, and all that stuff, making it uncomfortable. I know it's a regular season game. Luka looked comfortable. This dude, my dog Scrappy right here, my boy. I was getting so hyped. I was just getting so hyped. He got scared. Luka was hitting step back threes. He was hitting what I like to call the fuck you threes, where he was just pulling up in transition. Like, what are we talking about? This is what I was telling people. You need to watch out for the Lakers, because not only are they clicking, they're 2 games out from being the 2 seed in the West. And I think that's very attainable for them by the end of the season. We're looking at a very challenging schedule the next couple of weeks. I think in March they play 8 games or 6 games in 8 nights, so that's going to be challenging. But like I said, man, they're just clicking right now. I'm very impressed with the way that they've been able to just play team defense since losing AD. JJ Redick's been coaching his ass off, and it's just something. I'm hyped. I'm really hyped. I'm bought in. I think this team has something brewing, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at a OKC Lakers Western Conference Finals championship.
So
I'll
let me get it on this DP. Lakers fans first. Sorry, Dre. I'm gonna do
Ah!
that all the time. Man, well, one thing I don't know if you guys know, but do you know LeBron is leading here? Not leading, but he's fourth in the league right now in assists per game at I believe 8.8 assists. And I always tell people that the type of player that LeBron needs to win a championship is somebody he can assist to, pass to, gonna knock down that shot, and somebody that is clutch. If you go back to all of this championship rings, he's had that player. Love AD, love him, but he was not that player in LA, and it feels so refreshing that we have Luka here to be able to dish to be able to, hey, you go take that ball, you do that step back, you score about 30 a night, I'm gonna score about 20, and we're gonna be right and be fine. And I always knew it, but it's different when you see it. Luka, he ain't a light boy. He is not a light boy. I think he got that rebound, and he got the rebound, and he just someone was behind him. He just pushed him back, and the dude just flew back, and he just laid it right up. Like Luka is a heavy set boy, and so I think that also plays into yes, they are small, but he is not a light boy, so they're able to do that with bigger teams. Go ahead, Dre.
Hold on, real
no, so
quick. Did you see what I was talking about with when him and LeBron? And you'll see Austin Reeves, by the way, he's quickly becoming one of
Yeah,
the best third options in the NBA. And they could be
yeah,
biased, but he's fucking balling, dude. He's averaging like
yes,
20 points in the season, shooting really effectively, and it's beautiful. And like last night, I was what I was talking about is people are like, "Oh, LeBron doesn't need to be doing all this with the shots." Luka's usage since he's been on the team is higher than LeBron's, and you're starting to see it with the way that they just slow the game down. Like they take their time, they pick the defense apart, they get who they want on them. And you're right, Luka is strong, and his ability to low key, they complain about his defense, but his ability to step in the passing lane and get steals is super impressive. I think it's super impressive. So, my bad, Dre. Go ahead,
100%.
brother.
no, I was just gonna say like might be a little 2K in me here, but like obviously we know Luca and LeBron, right? We're not dumb. Okay, but when you start to get like, and then think of their bodies, right? 6'7", 6'9", somewhere in that
Big
realm, about
frames, big
230
frames.
to 250 a piece. Okay, you've got Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought they accidentally got Mark Williams off in the trade because I was watching the game last night. I said, "Who is that?" I said, "Oh, that's Finney-Smith. That looks like Mark
Yeah.
Williams. Like he's just a couple
Really?
inches
And
smaller."
yep.
Um, but no, he's big.
Dude, and
Rui's
he's a glue
huge.
guy. Oh yeah.
Vanderbilt's
Yeah,
huge. Like these
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
are flexible. It's not the old school NBA anymore. So
Mhm.
having
No,
these 6'8" to 6'10" guys that are actually like no homo, but like bodied up too, not like twigs or anything.
heavy set.
You got Jackson at that
Big
center
back.
position being that just
Uh-huh.
that rim runner and like what not athlete
He is that athletic.
athletic, but god just
Lob threat.
it's the rib runner, lob threat, but then hustle guy. Yeah, the hustle guy.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
he's
Yep,
the
yep.
he's the
Yeah,
young gun, young cat. You
yeah.
can just see it in his face, all that, right? Reminds me of like Anderson Varejao for him. Um,
And he
I
dunks,
don't
and
want to
he's
hear
just
nothing
so
about the
excited.
smallness. I get that they got rid of AD. You got Luka Mother Doncic, okay?
Yes.
And like Tay pointed out, that's actually a very true point. The Kyrie, the D Wade at their prime levels, that's when
Yeah.
LeBron got his ring. So and then if you really think about it, JJ Redick's got two prodigies that literally play almost just like himself in Reeves and Connect. So
Yeah.
I think they've got as long as they stay healthy, they have everything they need to win the championship this year. I'm gonna go as far as saying they win this year. I'll go put money on it.
And to further to
And
kind
I'm
of
not a fan.
no, I know, but to
Like so
focus
that's
in on to talk about the Jackson Hayes and yeah, like the Mark Williams shit really sucks. Would have loved to have him.
better to have
It's
Connect.
the small lineup that they roll out there with Reeves, Luca, LeBron, Rui, and DFS, and then you got your three scorers, Rui or LeBron, Luca, and AR, but their ability to
Austin.
switch like everything.
Mhm.
Their ability to switch everything is what really has been able to help him. DFS is just like I've always just been a fan of him. I know he's not a sexy player, but he's just one of those players that is like a glue guy, right? Like he's a player
Yeah.
that like he doesn't score 20 points a game, but he scores 9 points, and all 9 of them are timely. Like exactly when you need them. When a team's going
Yes.
on a run, when they're going on a 6-0, 8-0 run, DFS is open in the corner for a 3. It's splat. And granted, it's made up a lot of what they didn't just lose AD in that trade. They ended up giving up Max Christie, who's been balling as
Max
well.
Christie.
Ooh, he's been
know,
hooping.
Hooping, and he was hooping on the Lakers as well. So I was upset about
Been
that
hooping.
more than because I knew we were getting back Keith and Kleba. So, but Kleba's not even ready till maybe even next year. So the Max Christie loss was what I was hurting. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to recover. But Vando is
Yeah, that's
Vandal
nice.
played well. Yeah.
and I know he's also one of those players that's just not the sexiest, but he's what you need. He's literally like he's a Draymond Green, just not a poor man's, a younger, and just not as shit talk. He's cleaner, I guess, if that makes sense, right? Like he's a little
Yeah.
pepped.
There's been guys like Vando in the league throughout the
Mhm.
years. Yes, and
Mhm.
he is needed for
Battier,
sure.
no, not yet, not like
Yep.
a bat. He can't shoot, but
Yeah.
and yeah, I think obviously I want to context matters. So over like their last like 12 or something games, they've won like 11 to 13 or something, right? But like 11 of them haven't been against the best. They've been against really bad offenses, and essentially, so like they're not winning. They're not going on like winning streaks against top teams in the West or top teams in the East. They're going on winning streaks against like the Jazz, the Hornets, the Trailblazers. So last night it was really good to see that they were able to do that against the Nuggets, a team that was on a 9-game win streak themselves. So, and like I said, Luca coming alive, that was really, really good to see, man. Sorry, that was a really good Lakers
Awesome.
segment, y'all.
Yes.
You guys got anything else? Anything else on your mind? Anything else you want to let the people know?
No, just check the line at the bottom, guys. Go ahead and give us likes, shares, follows, please subscribe. We're gonna be doing this every week. This is already second one back to back, but we're gonna keep them rolling. We're gonna start doing some questions for people that engage. So we just need to get some subscribers. So come on.
And let us know. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Like Dre said, just shoot us a DM and we'll talk about it. We may also start doing some live call-ins. We talked about Andre, so yeah, we possibly might be doing some call-ins. So just let us know what the people want us to talk about.
Yeah, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have made it this far, we really appreciate it. We look forward to bringing you guys more content as we go. And yeah, the more you guys tune in, the more and more this channel grows, and we can just get more quality content out for you guys. And we want to kind of bring the new age media to this shit. And obviously, we're all human. We all swear. We just want to bring normal sports talk, make it normal to have sports conversations without censorship. So, well, some
Yes.
censorship, you know what I mean? But yeah, so just leave some
Yeah.
We're not
comments, man.
R-rated over here or nothing,
Yeah.
but
Like, comment, subscribe, leave us some questions. What else? And yeah, go Lakers, man. Looking forward to seeing them
Let's
in the
go.
Western Conference Finals. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We're out.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
peace.